Dave Ramsey gets it so wrong, and it's so dangerous, his advice. I can't hardly stand it.
$1 million should create for you an $80,000 income, boys and girls. So you should perpetually, like if forever, you should be able to pull 80,000 forever.
Here's the problem. That only exists in his dreams. Right? There's no basis of reality here whatsoever. It's complete garbage.
And why?
It's garbage because the world does not work like this. You don't earn 12% a year every single year when you are in 100% equity portfolio. That is the most volatile, okay? So it's up 20% one year, it's minus 30 the next.
Huddle up, team. We are John and Tara Thorman, your financial success coaches. And in this video today, we will show you why Dave Ramsey's income retirement advice is very dangerous and must be rejected.
Must be rejected. Okay, so last week, if you haven't watched last week, we talked about his bad math. Okay, it's so bad. So if you haven't seen that, go back to last week, check that video out. And this week, we are talking specifically about what he is not even considering in his recommendations, which is sequence of return risk. And this is humongous, okay? And we've got to go over this because there's a big difference in your financial life cycle that I don't think people are considering. When you're young, you're in your accumulation phase, you're in your growth phase, right? That's when you can take on perhaps some more volatility in your portfolio. You're trying to get growth. So we've got the accumulation phase. Then there's a protection phase, you know, the 5 or 10 years before retirement and the 5 or 10 years after retirement, because that's the red zone. That's the critical time when you cannot afford to lose money and when you have to get your risk management done right, because you got a lot of risks in retirement that you've got to protect against. But there's the decumulation phase or the spending phase, right? So you build up a nest egg, which is your 401k balance, your big retirement account balance. That's your nest egg, but that's no good to you. You got to convert that nest egg into cash flow, okay? And cash flow is the answer. That's the king. And in retirement, Dave gets it all wrong. The whole financial industry has been focused on accumulation. On the first part about growing your nest egg, about growth rates and making more money and building this big old nest egg, okay? But they have dropped the ball or the egg completely when it comes to converting that nest egg into income. And that's what we're talking about. And Dave Ramsey gets it so wrong, and it's so dangerous, his advice. I can't hardly stand it. So we have to fix this. And I'm going to prove to you with math, with real numbers, why his advice is no good, okay? But we've got to look at this issue of sequence of return risk. So I'm going to show you the numbers. Let's take a look at this really quick. So here's Dave's example, okay? We've got $1 million on December 31st, and you're age 64. And on January 1, it's your birthday, and you turn 65. And so what are you going to do? Dave said you can pull out 8% or $80,000, so that's what you do. January 1, you pull out $80,000. Dave also said that your average return is going to be 12%, so no sweat. We're going to apply a 12% growth rate to your 100% equity portfolio, which virtually nobody does in retirement because they're trying to preserve their wealth, not risk it anymore, right? But we're going to go with this 12%. So at the end of the first year, you're $1 million. You've pulled out $80,000 to live on, and you can see your balance here is $1,030,400, which is awesome. Your money's growing, right? Year 2, the same deal, but now it's $83,200 because of inflation. So we're indexing your income by inflation. Year 2, you earn 12%. Awesome. At the end of the year, $1,060,864. Year 3, $86,000 in income because we're indexing it for inflation. You earn 12%, no sweat. Your money grows again. You're at $1,091,000. Follow this down. You can see that following Dave Ramsey's example, 12%, keep back 4, spend 8. You will never run out of money. It's in perpetuity, like he said. Here's the problem. that only exists in his dreams. Right? There's no basis of reality here whatsoever. It's complete garbage.
And why?
It's garbage because the world does not work like this. You don't earn 12% a year every single year
right.
when you are in a 100% equity portfolio. That is the most volatile, okay? So it's up 20% one year, it's minus 30 the next.
Right.
It's up 12% and then it's zero. It's up 25% and then it's minus 50. Like, the world does not work in Dave's dreams like that, okay?
Right.
So you cannot live your retirement income that way. You cannot plan on your retirement income being that way. We got to do it differently. So I'm going to throw up a different slide here. This explains the sequence of return risks for retirees. It's the same $1 million, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that you retired in the year 2000 and actually take the real S&P 500 returns. Okay? I'm going to do Dave's same deal. $1 million on December 31, January 1, you turn 65, you retire, and you pull out 80,000 bucks. Ugh. But the market went down in the year 2000. You can see from the stock portfolio return column, the S&P 500 went down 10%. So you lost money. So at the end of the first year, you don't have over $1 million. Now you have $826,712.
Right.
Year two, you take out the 80,000 plus inflation. So you take out 83,200 as in the other example. But man, in 2001, the market went down again. It went down 13%. So now at the end of year two, your nest egg went from $1 million all the way down to 646,000.
Right.
But we're not done yet.
Right.
In 2002, the market went down again.
Wow.
Right? It went down 23%. So now you got 86,000 to live on because we're indexing it for inflation. You're doing okay that way on an income basis, but your nest egg is getting the crap beat out of it. Okay. Your nest egg went from $1 million. Now it's down to 429,151.02. Right. This process continues. This is the real world. This is the sequence of return risk. And when you face losses in the early part of your retirement years, your balance drops and you cannot recover.
Right. You're in a nosedive, right?
Yeah.
You're going to crash.
Right. So
very swiftly. That's what is happening.
Right. Very swiftly. So it goes down to 428,000. The next year, down to 365. The next year, 275, because the returns aren't enough to compensate for how much money you've already lost. And you have to pull out so much money every year to live on. In this example, and this is real, like this is the real, if you were this guy in 2000, at age 73, you are out of money.
Yep. True story.
You're broke. Your nest egg is gone and you are broke. Right? So I want you to understand this, and I've been thinking about it, and the sequence of return risk is this concept that's maybe hard to grasp, but perhaps you're familiar with this because everybody's always talking about the accumulation phase and growing wealth. So in the accumulation phase, there's a concept called dollar cost averaging, right?
Yes.
You're probably familiar with it. You can look it up. The whole idea is you've got a fixed amount of money every month that you're investing towards your retirement. So maybe it's $1,000 a month. Well, this month, if the share price of that mutual fund's $100 and you put in 1,000, you get 10 shares, right? It's pretty simple math.
Right.
The volatility is that the next month, maybe the market crashes and the price isn't $100 a share anymore. It's only 50. Oh, well, Wall Street says, no problem. Actually, it's to your advantage. It's a flashing blue light special. Everything is on sale. So your $1,000 at $50 gets you twice as many shares. You get 20 shares instead of 10. How awesome is that? Everybody loves a sale, right? So in the accumulation phase, we have that concept, dollar cost averaging.
Right.
When we're in the decumulation phase, when you're retired and you're got to convert that nest egg into cash flow, you experience the exact opposite. It's the inverse. Now you're pulling money out every month to live on. That is your income, your salary now. You're cashing out shares
Mhm.
of your nest egg to turn it into cash so you can live on.
Right.
You are destroying the number of shares that you own,
Right.
okay, so that you can have the cash that you want. It works against you. Accumulation phase, it works for you. Decumulation phase, it works exactly against you. You got to cash out twice as many shares to get the same amount of money if the stock price drops in half.
Right. And you can't get them back.
Where are you going to get them back from?
I know.
Right? The
We
number
talked
of
about that.
shares, you're not buying more shares, right?
Right.
You're selling shares every month to live on.
Right.
So when the market does recover, okay, you've got less shares than you ever anticipated.
Mhm.
And you can't get back. You're sunk.
Mhm.
So let me show you this other example. This is sequence of return risk. The same example, except all I've done now is I've flipped the stock market portfolio returns. So the negative returns you got in the beginning, I'm putting at the end,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Because it's the sequence, right? It's
Right.
you experience the negative returns early or later. And if I do the exact same thing with the $1 million portfolio, I'm pulling out exactly the same $80,000 a year index for inflation, but in the first year I earn 13%.
Mhm.
Yeah, my portfolio balance goes up.
Mhm.
Cool. But in year two, I earn nothing, right? Zero, the volatility of the market, and my balance drops to 960. The next year, I get 12.78%. My balance goes up. The next year, I earn 23%. My balance goes up. But the next year, I get hit with a loss. I lose 38%. Now I'm down to 600,000. Now I cannot catch up. Now I'm losing money every single year afterwards because of the number of shares I had to sell to maintain that same annual income rate.
Right.
So what on earth is somebody to do?
Right.
How do you deal with this, right? So because we still have the bad math scenario where these stock market portfolio returns are absolute
Mhm.
lies, because it doesn't work like that, right? That's the index return. Well, mutual funds don't return as much as the index.
Right.
Plus, you got mutual fund fees and expenses. Plus, you got your advisor expenses. So this is way overinflated. It's not real.
Mhm.
But we're just playing the game here with Dave, right? So what are you going to do? Your option is you've got to, if you've got a limited amount of money, right? Like if you're Dave, it doesn't matter, right? He's got so much money, it doesn't even matter. Like he can lose in the market. He doesn't care.
Right.
But if you've got $5 million or less, it matters. You can't afford the sequence of return risk. You can't afford to lose money because you're depending on it to generate the cash flow you need to live.
Right.
So your options are, you've got to change your portfolio. You can't have 100% stock
Right.
because you can't tolerate the volatility in the price,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
You cannot tolerate that price volatility. It works the exact opposite of dollar cost averaging. It's going to hurt you. Second, after you change your portfolio up, you've got to look at how could you establish an outside fund. We call it a volatility shield or a volatility buffer. Have cash in your
Peace of mind.
peace of mind account. Exactly. You might know it as your emergency fund.
Mhm.
As you age, you want to get more and more and more cash in that peace of mind account. So when you're younger, 6 months is a good starting point, but you want to increase that. By the time you retire, you will want to have 3 to 5 years. You want to have 3 to 5 years because if we have 2000, 2001, 2002 again,
Mhm.
you don't want to touch your retirement investment portfolio because the price of the shares are down.
Right.
You got to sell too many shares.
Mhm.
So what you want to do is pull money from your volatility shield or your volatility buffer because that's cash. You're not losing any money there.
Right.
And you give your retirement account the time it needs to recover from the losses.
Okay.
Or take some of the cash and dollar cost average in, right? Buy some more shares when the price is really cheap and live off that cash because it hasn't lost any value.
Okay.
That's what you got to do.
Mhm.
And the third thing you got to do is have a dynamic income account, right? So that just means in the lean years, you spend less
Mhm.
than in the full, rich, abundant years.
Mhm.
And you can replenish your cash account in the abundant years or replenish your retirement equity portfolio in the abundant years. But Dave's advice is so bad. Like I can't even, I mean, look at the numbers. Right? It's so terrible. It does not work in real life. You cannot do this, okay? And I want to encourage you with this. There's wonderful contemporary current research on retirement income, okay? And what they're suggesting is that instead of the traditional retirement advisor, that's telling you 60% stock and 40% bonds or something of that variety, that does not work. That's not in your best interest. That's based on outdated, flawed thinking called modern portfolio theory, okay? That's from the 1950s. And the deal with that, and Wall Street has run with it. Like that's how they build this stuff out, but it was never designed for individuals. And that's portfolio modeling for institutional investors that have an unlimited time frame. You don't have that luxury, right? You need the modern retirement theory. And what that will tell you is Ernst & Young did the research on this, and their ideal portfolio construction for modern retirement theory is 40% equities, up to 30% in annuities, because then you get guaranteed income for life so that all your essentials are covered, right? And 30% in cash value life insurance that's designed properly so that you get a really good rate of return on your money, better than in a savings account or a CD, but there's no risk, there's no volatility. And you get all these other insurance benefits that are enormous. The portfolio constructs are completely different. Don't be stuck in Wall Street's limited thinking of stocks, bonds, cash, and maybe a real estate investment trust. There's way more opportunities for you to construct a modern retirement income portfolio using different asset classes that give you guarantees, really good rates of return, and protect you from sequence of return risk. So God bless Dave Ramsey. Don't listen to him on investment and retirement income advice because he's got it wrong. And it pains me because he doesn't have to have this wrong, but he does, and he's refusing to budge. But the math does not lie. He's using bad math. I'm showing you the correct right math, and you can go figure it out yourself, but this is right. And we want to make sure that you get the right information to make the right decision. But personal finance is personal.
That's right.
So we can't have one standard answer for everybody all the time. That's just silly. There's more than one way to
do things. I'm leaving the cat analogy out of this.
There's more than one way to do things. Make it personal. Let's address your situation. That's what a money coach is for, right? Help you arrive at the right decision for you. So thank you for watching. We would love to hear your comments. Give us a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and drop us an idea on some future comments or content questions that you might have so we can address those in other videos. But thank you so much.
Good job, honey.
Thank you, baby. And that is all for us today. We will see you on the next video.